In today's presentation, the role of sympathetic imagination in understanding animals, I will be exploring how J.M. Costa's book, The Lives of Animals, uses the characters Elizabeth Kosilla to highlight the importance of imagination and empathy. The story focuses on Kosilla's important lectures, where she challenges her audience to emotionally connect with the animals rather than rely on only reason or tradition. This theme is especially relevant to the question of how society decides who should receive rights and protection. Through this presentation, I will show how Kosilla's ideas push us to think more compassionately about who belongs in our care. In the lives of animals, J.M. Coetzee uses the character Elizabeth Cosillo to show how the emotional connection through the sympathetic imagination helps people understand the suffering of animals, challenges human-centered thinking, and build moral awareness. Next slide. One of the main arguments in the lives of animals is that the sympathetic imagination allows humans to emotionally connect with animals, which leads to the deeper understanding of their suffering. This argument supports the idea that society should not only rely on logic or tradition to decide who receives protection, but also consider the emotional awareness and compassion. For example, I used to see animals in pet stores or farms and not think much about their lives. But when I volunteered in an animal shelter, I had to take care for sick and scared animals every day. I remember one dog who had just been rescued from a bad home. Looking in its eyes and seeing how it slowly began to trust people made me realize that animals feel fear, pain, and hope just like we do. That experience changed how I think of about animal rights. And it's not just logic or statistics that changed my views, but it was about the emotional connection I had and the moment of empathy I had with the animal. Elizabeth Costello encourages her audience to move beyond cold reasoning and instead imagine what it's like to be an animal. By doing this, she believes that we are more likely to treat animals with care and respect. Coetzee supports this idea when Costello says there are no limits to the sympathetic imagination, page 133, showing that we all have the ability to understand others if we're willing to try. This thinking sets the foundation for a more compassionate way of thinking about rights and responsibility. Next slide. The quote, "There are no limits to sympathetic imagination," page 133, supports the argument that empathy is a powerful and necessary resource for understanding the lives and suffering of animals. This line reveals that imagination is not limited by species, language, or background, but by our willingness to use it. Coetzee, through Elizabeth Costello, encourages the audience to stop focusing only on debates and reasoning, but instead connect with their emotions to truly connect with others, including animals. The phrase "no limits" highlights the never ending potential of empathy, suggesting that anyone is capable of imagining the life of another, even an animal. This idea challenges the belief that humans are too different from animals to relate to them and opens a door for moral growth. The author writes in a way that is simple but also meaningful, which makes his message hit close to the heart. He talks about imagination, not just as creativity, but something that helps us understand others and what is right. This quote is important because it pushes us to see that being empathetic is not just about knowing facts or using logic, but also truly feeling connected to the other people. Next slide. In conclusion, J.M. Coetzee, The Lives of Animals, uses Elizabeth Costello to remind us that empathy and the sympathetic imagination are necessary to truly understand suffering. Rather than relying on only logic or tradition, Coetzee challenged us to imagine the experiences of others, no matter how different they may seem. This emotional connection makes us reconsider how society decides who deserve rights and protection, showing us that compassion should play a bigger role. This connection breaks down societal barriers between humans and animals, encouraging a more compassionate view of who deserves care and protection. In the end, Coetzee's message calls us to expand our moral awareness by embracing empathy as a powerful tool for growth.